I got to talk about what everybody is talking about right now, and that is the Detroit Pistons, man. Um, the Pistons right now are 21-19. They've won 10 of their last 12 games. Currently, they're sitting at the A seed. They got a big game coming up Thursday against Indiana. Indiana's the sixth seed, and they're coming off this huge win against the New York Knicks a couple days ago. They beat the Knicks earlier this year, but the Knicks did not have Karl Anthony Towns, who's arguably their best player. Now the new narrative is that Karl Anthony Towns may have a broken or slash dislocated thumb. But he was out there. That's all I could tell you. But the real question, man, is Cade Cunningham? Has he arrived? Has he arrived? Basically, I looked at his numbers. I mean, you could watch this game. You could just watch the game, and watching this game, you'll pretty much agree that this man has arrived. Since being in the league, I've questioned his I don't know what the word is. The dog. I guess the dog. I questioned the dog in him, and in this game, he showed it off. Got into foul trouble early. I think they said he had like 4 points going into like the third quarter. And then from then on, he dropped like something stupid, like 20. He dropped 25 plus points in the second half of the game. Looking at his stats. Oh, and he also had a layup where he should have got the foul call. They didn't give it to him. And man, he was barking at somebody. I don't know who it was, but he was barking at somebody. I thought he was gonna get teed up. They didn't tee him up, and the Pistons went on to win the game.
No, I was just gonna say that's a good sign because I've heard he doesn't get calls, and I heard that's more of a superstar thing. That he hasn't really been considered a superstar in the past, so he doesn't get those calls that like LeBron would get or say Luka or somebody would get. But that's a good sign that they didn't mess with him for that. Maybe he really is coming into his own.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good sign. And like I said, this game, I can't even put into words how much this game did for not only the Detroit Pistons, but specifically Cade Cunningham, because you go into Madison Square Garden, the only thing that would have made it bigger if it was like a national TV game, but you go in there, you get the win. JB Bickerstaff, his biggest thing was that he was proud of the way that Cade in clutch time relied on his teammates, because at the end of the game, man, they was double teaming Cade, and he was making the right passes. You should Malik Beasley is a player that I think that you could really get behind. But he knocked down 2 clutch threes to seal the game. On the second one, he did his little. He's got a patented shimmy shake that he got, and he did his little shimmy shake. He waved. He kissed the crowd goodbye. He's really a player I feel like you can get behind. But last thing I got is like Cade Cunningham. We look at him, man. He's 15th in the league in point. Oh, this is among point guards. He's 15th in the league in points. I'm sorry. He's 15th in the league, period. 15th in the league in points. Among point guards, he is first in the league. Among point guards, he's first in the league in rebounds. He's second in the league in assists. Third in blocks. He's sixth in points amongst point guards. 15th amongst point guards in threes. He's 20th amongst point guards in steals. And no surprise, he is first. He's first amongst point guards in turnovers. What can you do? You can't have everything. But all that being said, man, I just got to ask you a easy question. Sounds like, from what I'm sure from what you're hearing, it sounds like the Pistons are starting to come around. They got a winning record. But my real question is, if the Pistons make the playoffs, would that be enough to pull you back into not necessarily basketball, but at least following the Pistons?
Yeah, man. I'm already interested in the Pistons. Like I came in with a game plan this year to actually watch way more Pistons games, but it's so hard to keep up with the Pistons games because like first off they're not on national TV. I'm not in Detroit anymore, so I have to catch a game whenever I can catch one. So it's hard for me to keep up with them. Um, they have brought me they have brought my interest back to them. What you said earlier about Michael Beasley is funny. You mentioned him because I was gonna mention him earlier because when we had that conversation earlier about before the show about K, I went and looked up some of the highlights of that New York game, and Michael Beasley like right off the rip. My bad, Malik Beasley right off the rip hit like 2 3 pointers, and the first thing they said was like in the last game he hit like 7. So yeah, it is definitely if I can catch the games and they start putting them on national TV or I can start catching them, I would definitely be interested in watching the Pistons make their run and getting back into them. Um, it's just when I see other games, man, I just have no interest.
Yeah, man. Malik Beasley is number 2 in the league for 3-pointers made this season. Like it's phenomenal. You signed, like I said, when they signed him, he's always been a good player. But I was listening to him talk too, man, and he was just saying like his pregame routine. He gets like he say he if I'm not misquoting him, I believe he said that he shoots 200 3-pointers before every game. So I'm like, man, this guy is something else.
Saint Brown, ethic. I mean, Saint Brown, work ethic.
Yeah, St. Brown work ethic, and it's funny you bring up St. Brown because I was thinking, the rise of Cade Cunningham is kind of the trajectory is kind of on the same pace as St. Brown. Now St. Brown came in, with no type of hype at all, but Cade Cunningham obviously on the polar opposite, a number 1 overall pick. But at the same time, he's never gotten a lot of shine as a former number 1 overall pick. If anything, we've been watching to see, is this guy going to be a bust? What's he going to be? Is he going to leave the Pistons? It's all been pretty much negative not publicity, but negative speculation and coverage of Cade Cunningham since he's been on the Pistons, simply because the Pistons have been bad, of no fault of his own. So, and just this is like his 4th year, I want to say. I believe it's his 4th year. And the strides that he's taken over these years, he's only gotten better and better every year. And this year, he's really stepped it up to a whole new level. Last thing I got to ask you about the Pistons, man. Like I said, they are 8th in the East right now. They could go up from here. The East is this is a down year for the East. So trade deadline is coming up. They can make small moves. They can make small moves. Honestly, myself, if they didn't do anything, I wouldn't even be mad, man, because I'm really interested to see how this team grows. Before the season, I could have gave you a couple names that I was willing to trade, but like even Isaiah Stewart, right? Isaiah Stewart is coming into his own. He's finding, he's growing confident in his role as the team enforcer. He plays great defense. We got a couple of pieces, but everybody like they gel. If you want to go look at something funny, man, watch them after they beat the Knicks and they in the tunnel and they talking to the camera. It's all good stuff, man. And this is a real team. Cade, the post game interview, that's all he was talking about, how much he loves his team, how much he loves his guys. So I'm not really trying to break it up. I'll sell off a couple minor pieces to get a minor piece in return. But my real question is, they're doing all this without Jaden Ivey, and I was I was if I told you if I was going to trade one of the two, it probably would have been Ivy. Now Ivy's hurt. Duran is still playing well, but if I could package Duran and Ivy into a deal, I might be able to get something real nice in return for that. And right now it's off the table because Ivy is hurt, so we don't have any concerns about that. But what are your thoughts on how are you feeling about Ivy?
Ivy is my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that K is coming into his own, and he's finally found his niche, and he's making a name for himself in the thing. I always like to see our guys have success. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I want to see the same thing for Ivy, man. I feel like Ivy was stepping up his game, and he was starting to do the same thing and coming to his own as well. I would like to see that develop into uh, something that some not on the same level as K, but something similar to what K could have been, or if I had to make a comparison, like Rip Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who could make a name for himself in this team, and I would hate to see that happen with another team. So I understand that the team is doing okay with him, but I just think that it's another piece. Like just like the Lions. I mean, yeah, I mean, like just like the Lions. I mean, they're doing good without the defense is doing good without Aiden Hutchinson. Not to compare Ivy to Aiden Hutchinson, but the defense is doing good without Aiden Hutchinson. But that doesn't mean you want to get rid of him. And I feel the same way about Ivy. Like the team is doing good without Ivy, but that doesn't mean I want to get rid of him. I like to see him develop into something and fulfill his full potential. Um, but I would also like to say, um, so this team right now, man, it just seems like the Lions are rubbed off on everybody. The Pistons, especially, uh, it seems to come from the front office because I heard that before you've been talking about for years how we've had so many problems in the high office, and I just heard earlier today that Trajan Langdon might be up for executive of the year, and they brought in a new coach, and the team is developed and gotten better, and it just shows to show you what a team can be if you have the right leadership in office ahead of them. So yeah, man, that's all I want to say. Those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that. Definitely, I felt I had the same feeling as far as the Lions affecting the whole town, all the teams. The vibe in Detroit is different, and every couple of games you see Lions players, Lions personnel at the games. Crowd erupts. Still a hot debate and the ongoing Jared Goff chants at the game. So. I think the Lions have definitely woken this town up, and yeah, Trajan's done a phenomenal job. The same way we trusting in the Lions to keep this train going. I'm trusting Trajan to make this right move at the trade deadline.